Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday. I went for a run today. I don't think I was ready for a run. Let me back up a little bit. Let me back up just a little bit. So I got this thing at the beginning of December. It asks of you to do 30 minutes of exercise a day, which I have complied with a variety of things, but typically walking, and the pace changes when I do my walks. It depends on a few different things. Sometimes I get out there and I really move, and sometimes it's more of a leisurely thing. Occasionally, instead of walks, like if the weather's bad or if it's cold or whatever, sometimes I go up and down the stairs. I'll do that for quite a long time. It's pretty strenuous. There's also been a few times I've done the Apple TV Plus workouts since we got 3 months free with the watch. And I've been doing some of those as well. But mostly what I do is walk. And, there had been a time a few weeks back that I did a walk. And at the end of the walk, I sprinted home. I just sprinted home. And I was talking to Thomas about that, and Thomas said, the better thing to do is to walk for a month. He said you should walk for a month before you do any running. He also told me other things. Those other things didn't stick, but that part did. And so after having walked for all of December, today, now that we're in January, I was feeling pretty good, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run. I haven't done any running, but I'm gonna run. So I walked out my front door and I ran. I just ran, and I was able to run at a fairly decent pace for about the first minute, and then the next 3 minutes, it was still pretty fast, but it was slowing down a little bit, and then at the end of that 4 minutes, I had went half a mile. So I went half a mile in 4 minutes. And then my body was like, nope. And then from that point forward, for the rest of my, what ended up being, a half hour walk, it was kind of like push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. But I really pushed my body hard. And, after I got back, I talked to Mao and talked to Thomas, who were both like, yeah, you can't do that. You really need to pace yourself. And then Thomas reminded me of the other thing that he had said, which was talking about Couch to 5K, which is a program where you kind of learn the ins and outs. It's running for beginners, and I did not do that at all. So the moral of the story is that if you are going to do things that change your body, you have to not push your body too hard. You have to be gradual. And I did not do that, because in my brain I was like, I did the walk, now I can do the run. And to an extent, that was true. I have conditioned my body over the course of just a month to do things that I couldn't do before. There's been times in my life where I've sprinted and I couldn't sprint for 4 minutes. And I mean, I didn't sprint for 4 minutes, but I got pretty close today. That's a huge change. I've never been able to do that. And that was neat. But the problem is you can hurt yourself doing that. And I did, actually. I really kind of did, because when I got home from this walk where for 30 minutes, I just I would run, as much as I could. And sometimes it was a jog and sometimes it was a sprint. And then when I couldn't do that, I would walk. After I had done that, for 30 minutes, I came home. By the time I got in the door, I was I couldn't form words. I was so out of breath and coughing, probably because I'd given my lungs more than they could handle. and I just hurt. I hurt so bad. My chest hurt. My chest hurt from the beginning of the run, honestly. Like after the first like 2 or 3 minutes, it was just painful. And it was so, I think the interesting thing was it was so different from the walking. And yet like the pace was like better, but it wasn't like that much better because I was walking a lot in order to compensate for the fact that I felt like death. To put it into perspective, at this point, I can walk a mile in just about 12 minutes and 30 seconds. I mean, I'm really moving at that point, but I can do that. And I'm not like super, super, super winded or anything. Like that's manageable at a walk. I did my running mile today at like a little over 10 minutes. And, a lot of that was walking, and also I felt like death. So like it was 2 minutes faster, but also the difference in speed between the walk and the run was huge, and yet it was only 2 minutes faster, and I felt like I was going to die. So that was kind of a helpful, eye-opening thing. But then also getting home and then for like 10 minutes just panting, and like I didn't run into the door either. Like I had ran, and then at some point I went back to my walk, and I had been walking for a good like 2-3 minutes before I walked in the door. And even getting in here, like I was just completely obliterated. And now that it's been, the course of the day, my coughing has finally subsided mostly, but my chest and my heart has felt very tight and awful. And also I'm getting extreme soreness in my hips. So what did we learn here today? Well, we learned a few things. First thing we learned is that the things that you are doing are improving, right? Like I did run today in a way, in a pace that I've never in my entire life been able to do. Like I've never had the stamina to run for a few minutes at a time. That's never had, like maybe a 20-second burst in, for my entire life. So to actually be able to do that was neat. That being said, every other aspect was bad. And it sounds like the reason it was bad is that I did everything wrong. And, having someone like Thomas be like, you need to do the thing I told you about before, which I didn't. I was very fixated on like I have to walk for a month and I can run, and I didn't read the other stuff. I'm gonna use that going forward. And like I think the important thing here is that I am not interested in becoming a runner. I don't care about that. That's not important to me. But I am genuinely interested in like increasing my overall fitness and athleticism, and really it all comes back to health, because I have lived so sedentary for so long. Like I really do want to have the ability to move my body without feeling like I'm gonna die. And in a month I'm starting to already see improvement, and that's cool. That's the reason for this. It's not that I want to, I'm going to become a runner. I'm going to become like, no, I don't care about that. But that is, to me, that's like part of it is like doing some of those things. But I just, I did too much today. So hopefully I didn't like really hurt myself. I don't think I did, but I'm going to, for one, I'm not going to do that again for a long time. And then also when I do finally run again, whenever that is, I'm going to follow directions, because apparently it's supposed to be very much like tiny doses in order to get your body used to that, and also to prevent your body from being hurt. And I'm sure that there's a million other little asterisks here that many of you watching even know about. Some of you may be screaming and have been screaming the whole video, in which case, I mean, there's nothing you can do. It already happened. But, it was helpful maybe to experience it and some of the side effects that come along with it. So I know, like, okay, yeah, I can't really do that. I need to. It's not like it's a problem to push your body, but like you have to push it within, I guess, limits and within reason. So I'm learning about that a little bit, getting smarter. Yeah, getting smarter. I'm not looking to get buff. I'm not looking to run marathons or anything. I just want to try and increase my overall health through the use of like regular exercise. But also as a side effect of that, like being able to be like, oh, I ran and I did it this fast is just neat. And I think it's particularly neat because like I didn't run in high school. I didn't do anything in high school. Like and I've told this story before on the vlog, but like growing up, I was always in last place for anything. Even though I was like the tall guy, I had long legs. Like I just had no stamina. I could not do that. I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't play sports. So suddenly having some element of that is actually appealing, because I get to do it for me. I don't have to do it for a sports team. I don't have to do it for a coach. I don't have to do it I'm doing it for me. And that is the part that feels good. I just have to do it right next time. Anyway, it's cool. I'll do better in the future. If you have other little tidbits that you want to share, you can. But my plan going forward is to follow the running for beginners couch to 5K thing, and try use that more as a guide, and try to get into it just a little bit and see where it goes. But I do have to say, again, for some of the bad that occurred today, it is genuinely cool to do a thing that you in your entire life have never been able to do. That's actually neat. I can move quick for longer periods of time than I used to. And that's cool. I like that. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, let's meet back tomorrow. Hopefully I feel better. Shall we?